Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to our next episode of Tiger Eye Talk. This is our February episode, and our guest today is Jeanne Muhammad. And before I officially introduce her, I want to tell you a little bit about her. She is the happiness expert. Let me explain a little bit of what that means. Jeanne is your global happiness expert and is a certified life and happiness coach, a certified assertiveness and confidence coach, a certified holistic wellness coach, and certified self care coach. All that is so important. Um, she is a professional speaker, a workshop facilitator, a blogger, and a podcaster. She is a co host for the podcast I Am the Data on YouTube and other streaming services. She has authored 9 books. Her latest books are The Self Care System, Self Care Strategies That Will Transform Your Life, and the Self Care System Workbook. She is a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a great grandmother. She's also an advocate against domestic violence, a speaker on domestic violence, Speakers Bureau for Mecklenburg County and Charlotte, North Carolina, and a member of the Domestic Violence Research Collaborative Committee. She supports Safe Alliance, a resource for victims of domestic violence. She loves to cook, read, sew, crochet, garden, watch birds, travel, and write. Welcome, Miss Jeanne. We are so happy that you're here.
Thank you, Lisa. I am so happy to be here with you, and I really am appreciative of this opportunity to share this space with you. So, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit more in depth of what a happiness expert is.
Well, Lisa, I have not always been a happiness expert because I've not always been happy. Um,
Makes sense.
I so I'll just give you a little short synopsis of my life. I was born in a little two-room shack in a little town that's not really a town. It's a sign on the side of the road. You know how you blink, and if you miss the sign, you miss the
Yes.
town. It was, as I said, a little two-room shack in the middle of a cotton field. My father was a sharecropper on this plantation. So I was born into poverty, but at the same time, there was a lot of love in my house. And on the other side, my father was very abusive. He was very abusive towards my mother. And in fact, the first memory I have is waking up to my mother screaming because my father was beating her. So this went on throughout my childhood. And when I left home at 16, I went to California. I graduated from high school there in California, Redwood City, California. And I went to college, but I was going in and out of abusive relationships because this was my life. This is what I had seen. I didn't realize my value and my worth. So I went into alcohol and drug abuse and being abused. But at a point in my life, I said, stop. Let me look at me and see what it is about me that is attracting all of this into my life. And so I went on a journey, Lisa. I went on a journey of finding myself, finding God, finding the God within me, learning to love myself and learning to appreciate. And so it's been a journey of, and once I started understanding what it was about me, I decided I wanted to be uh, an aid to other women. I
Awesome.
want to be a servant to other women. And so I started taking courses about, learning about what it is and really looking into myself and deciding what is it about happiness? What is it um if that I have missed? And I was looking for happiness, like looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yes.
So I was looking for happiness in all the wrong places. And then I started really doing that deep down self examination and understanding that happiness comes from within. It's not my husband, it's not my children, it's not my grandchildren, it's not my friends, that I am responsible for my happiness.
Yep.
And once I understand the things that give me happiness from within, then I can be able to help other people go on that same journey of understanding what true happiness is, something that cannot be stolen from you by someone disappearing from your life or some material thing disappearing from your life. Then you are back at that point of not, quote unquote, being happy. We can
Yes.
give away our happiness, we can relinquish that power, but we have the control of not, saying that someone else has taken it. So that's a long answer to your question, Lisa.
That was a great answer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amy, do you have a question for Janine?
Not off the top of my head. I'm just enjoying the things that you're speaking of speak right to my heart.
Yes, yes. And thank you, Facebook user. It doesn't show your name, but thank you for joining us. They said they're relating to that too, Janine, what you were
Okay,
speaking.
well, good,
Awesome,
good.
Mhm.
awesome, awesome. So yeah, at what point, I guess, what age in your life did you realize that you needed to make these changes?
Oh, that's a good question, Lisa, because I was 43.
Oh wow.
I had gone through a lot of change. I mean, you can imagine from the time I was born up to 43 years old,
That's a
the
lot of
thing
life there.
that's a lot of life.
It is.
Right. And I went through, if I just told you year by year the things that was happening to me in that span of time, and how many times I allowed myself to go through abusive relationships. I was at a domestic violence meet and greet a few nights ago, and this one lady was saying about how she had been in two abusive relationships, and I was like, "Wow!" Because I was in so many, I can't even remember.
You can't count them all.
I can't count them all. But so I was 43 years old before I
Wow.
stopped and said, "Let me take this time to really look into why this is happening to me."
Awesome. 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 So when you started making that transition and making those changes, what was the reaction, I guess, of those around you, your family, your parents, your children?
Isn't it's interesting how you can be going through hell, and I was in hell literally. I was drinking, I was drugging, I was just doing a lot of self-destructive things. But no one ever said to me, "Jeannie, you don't have to live this way. You shouldn't be living this way." No one ever said that to me, Lisa. It was just an accepted thing because my mother had gone through all the abuse with my father, and that's all I guess my sisters had seen, and a lot of people around me were, drinking and drugging. So no one ever said to me, "Let's have a conversation about the lifestyle that you're living." But the minute I decided to change, everybody started asking me, "What's wrong with you?
Mhm.
What's wrong with you? You're not the same fun person you were. What's wrong with you?" Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
We don't like to have our boundaries pushed and questioned.
Yep.
It is.
They
That's
wanted
true.
you to be just like them, like you were before. Uh-huh.
Right. Right. And so that gives you a glimpse of when you're going through a transformation, a positive transformation, one that is elevating you and elevating your way of thinking, that the people around you, sometimes you have to change, and most of the time, you have to change the people
Yes.
that you surround yourself with. Now, if they're your family, it's not so easy. It's just that you have to maybe not be around them as much, but you should surround yourself with a like-minded people that are striving to elevate themselves.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Amy,
And,
do you have a question or a comment for Jeanine?
No, just really, really touches my heart. Like I've said, I've done some boundary shifting in my days, and it's never a pleasant experience, but the outcome is so worth it
Yes.
when you're taking
yes,
care of yourself and putting yourself first. And people are used to you not doing that. They're used to being
True.
able to, plow over you like a bulldozer, and you suddenly go, nope, not going to take it anymore. It sort of throws a wrench in the works, but it is well worth the effort.
It is.
Well worth
yes,
the effort.
yes, and that's so true, Amy. People were so used to me being that yes person. I really had to work on being able to say no.
Hmm.
You know, um, and isn't that, to me? I'm looking at it now. I'm thinking, wow, how hard it was for me to learn to say no, because it was
Hmm.
like I felt as though I had to be everything for everybody.
Yep.
Especially no without an excuse. I still
Oh,
I still
but
struggle with that one a little bit.
Yes, that one is a
I'd
struggle.
love to come help you, Mom, but
Yep.
and I feel like I've got to have that but and some reason afterwards instead of just I can't do it today. I'm sorry.
that was the hardest
It's
thing for
okay.
me.
Yes. And they don't understand either. When you
Right.
say, no, I'm not available to come help you, they want to know why. And they
Hmm.
want you to give them that long explanation.
And
Okay,
and
so
it's
I need
really
you
not
right now.
necessary. I learned, Lisa and Amy, that no is a complete sentence.
It is. It is. Thank you,
Hmm.
Susan. Susan Hussa is on with us today, guys, in the comments, and she is enjoying every bit of this. Thank
Okay.
you for your comments, Susan. And no, yeah, she said no is a complete sentence, Jeannie. Yeah, she agrees.
Yes, I had to learn that without, as Amy said, without going into this long explanation. Because when you go into a long explanation, the people that you're giving that they are going to constantly be saying, "Well, why?
Yep.
Why?" And
Yes,
Yep.
you're constantly giving this explanation, and they're never going to be satisfied with whatever explanation you give.
No.
true. That is
They
true.
always have another excuse. Yeah, but you could do it this way, or you could do it this time, or you could do it this day. It's like, no, I said no.
And and we have to train people how to treat us
Hmm.
sometimes.
Hmm.
Yep,
you,
that's
you
true.
know like Amy's, you're saying they don't want to accept it, so you have to constantly be consistent about what you say and show the strength behind what you say, or people will they won't accept it. But if you keep saying every time they come to you and you're consistent about how you react to certain things, and if you truly don't want to do something, you say no, then
Hmm.
after a while they're going to be like, she really means that.
Right.
Yes, I did mean that. Exactly. I mean, no has just as much, I guess, power and truth behind it as saying yes.
I think
That's
sometimes
It
true.
more
just
so
depends
even.
on which one they are wanting to hear. Because, of course, if they're wanting you to come help them or come do something for them, they're looking for you to say yes.
Hmm.
Right.
Well, and changing expectations, changing others' expectations of you, letting them know that it's not fair to expect that I will be there. You can ask, and if I can, I'll be there, but don't expect me to be there without asking.
Yep,
Right.
absolutely.
Hmm.
And we feel guilty. So that's the I think the underlying emotion
Hmm.
why we have a tendency to not to sit those boundaries because we feel guilty. We feel guilty about not fulfilling somebody else's wishes for you or for you to do for them. And so that's part of getting rid of that feeling of uh, I'm, guilt, and understanding I'm worthy to set these kind of boundaries. I'm worthy to have my wishes considered, you know, um,
Mhm.
and that's part of that self care.
We have a great comment too about boundaries. Susan says, "No is the boundary, and only yes, put your hand on the door handle to let you in."
Oh, I love that.
That's powerful.
Mhm.
I love that. When we have access to all these comments, I have to go back and ponder on that one.
So, yes, that's a great, great comment. So, yeah, even setting those boundaries can be difficult. Not just saying the word no and meaning it and following through with it, but setting those boundaries can be hard as well.
Well, figuring out where they are for you. What are your boundaries?
Yes.
Yes,
What's
yes.
going to allow you to be happy and be there for your friends, be there for your family? There's nothing wrong with supporting and helping others. It's
Absolutely.
not about saying no all the time. It's about figuring out when and where it's appropriate for you to say yes
My
and
Right.
apologies,
say yeah
Jeanette.
the rest of the
The
time.
boundary comment was from Jeanette Martin. My apologies.
Oh, Jeanette. Oh, okay. It's great to have Jeanette with us. Jeanette is a
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful person.
Yes, yes. So yeah, how did you go about setting your boundaries, Jenny, when you started making those changes?
Just as Amy said, I had to understand what my boundaries are because each person, it's an individual thing. We're all unique, and where uh, I may say this is something that I do not feel comfortable involving myself in at the time. So it takes self examination, it takes becoming self aware. And that takes, and what I did, Lisa and Amy, was take time to just um, be alone a lot. As I said, I had to start breaking off relationships with different people and spend a lot of time uh, with me and my creator, and just having that relationship and understanding what is it that I feel comfortable with. What is it do I uh, do I want in my life? What kind of people do I want in my life? What is it that gives me joy? And I had to connect with that because sometimes we're so busy doing this, we don't even understand why we're feeling a certain way because we haven't taken time to connect with why we're feeling a certain way. I'll give you a example. I had a friend that whenever I was in her company, whenever I would leave her company, I would feel so down. You know, I just would feel like, oh my God, everything is wrong, nothing is right. And I realized that was because the energy that she was putting off was that everything, she never had anything good to say about anything, and it was being projected onto me so that when I would leave I would just be feeling down, and I didn't understand why. I never even took the time to look at why I was going around being a sad sack, because of the energy that was being projected onto me, and I was absorbing that energy. So I had to take time to understand my emotions and why I was feeling a certain way. And so that took me really doing a lot of introspection, really doing that self-examination to understand the things that matter to me. This is another thing. I had to understand I'm not the type of person that love people dropping in. My mother was the type of person, she never required anybody to call or say anything about they were coming over. Her door was just come on in. Anybody could drop in from wherever. I didn't like that. That's not me. You know, my children even know they should call mom before they just drop over. That's
Mhm.
a boundary I had to set in order to make sure that I felt good about whoever was at my door coming in, that I just wasn't always ready to receive it because I have a schedule. You don't know what I'm planning to do or what I've planned to do. And now you're going to just drop in and expect me to drop everything and entertain you. I realized that was not me. And I had to, so it took a lot of hit and
Takes
miss.
time to set those boundaries. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, it does. It really
You
does.
have to be consistent with it in order for it to work.
Right, right. And
Mhm.
so after a while, people are knocking at my door at any time and not getting in. th- After a while, they realize, oh, I've wasted my time by just dropping by. I should have let her know that I was coming by, and so that's why, that's why I say sometimes we have to train people how to treat us.
Yes, that's true. That
Mhm.
is true. Amy, you have any other questions?
What is your take on toxic relationships? How can you identify them and get them out of your life?
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay,
That's a
again, that's looking at how you feel when you're
Mhm.
in a person's space.
Mhm.
Now, okay, I'll say, for example, even your mother, okay? Your mother could be a toxic relationship in your life. Not saying your mother or your mother,
right.
Lisa or Amy. I'm just example.
No worries.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when you are in that person's presence, are they elevating you?
Right.
Are they making or is it someone that you feel good when you're around them? You know, or is that person belittling you? Is that person always complaining? Is that person, and when it comes down to domestic violence, uh, is that person always threatening you, or do they actually hit you?
Even
You know,
sarcasm and poking fun, making fun of someone.
Yeah.
right, right. So that takes also you doing a self-examination of yourself, as I said before, and
Mhm.
understanding, what do you want in your life? What are the type of people you want in your life? Do you want someone in your life that's always poking fun at you and making fun of finding a feature on you? That's bullying. If I find a feature on you that it may not even be something that is that awful, but because you may be insecure
Right.
about who you are and what you are, somebody can always find something they consider wrong with you.
Mhm.
And then if they see that that will push your button and have you react a certain way, then that they may keep pushing that button.
Yep.
Mhm.
So did I answer your question, Amy?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, all
Awesome.
right, good,
Awesome.
good.
Yes.
So, how could people interact with you, Janine, if they're, watching this today and would like to learn more, have a conversation with you?
Okay, I am my website is iamjeannem.com, and on my website I have my books. I have my coaching programs are on there. How to contact me. You can do all of that from my website. Um, I have a YouTube channel, so you can go to my YouTube channel to learn more about me. I do have online courses. which can be activated through my website. So IamJeannieM.com would be the best way to contact me, because I have everything on that site that you would need in order to learn more about me and what I do, and what, if you're interested in speaking with me. And I love talking to people on
She's
there.
good, people. She's really good. I promise. I've had several conversations with her myself. It's really worth it.
Real quick, though, spell Jeannie for those who don't know how it's spelled.
Yes.
Oh, okay. A good point there, Amy, because there are so many different ways I've seen it spelled. It's JeAnne, and the website is IamJeAnnem for Muhammad.com. IamJeannieM.com.
Very cool.
Awesome. This is wonderful. Oh my goodness. If you are looking for some happiness in your life, you need to have a conversation with Jeannie. It will help you find a way to find your happiness for sure.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
Sure. Anything else you have, Amy?
Not off the top of my head. That's wonderful.
Gosh, this was so amazing, guys. So amazing. Thank you, visitors. It didn't show your names. You have to give StreamYard the ability to show your name. But thank you for your comments and interacting during our conversation here today. The happiness expert, Miss Jeannie Muhammad, please reach out and schedule a time to chat with her. And you can learn so much more than just what we learned here today, which today was really awesome as well. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Lisa and Amy. Thank you for having me.
Jeannie, it was so nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to have to connect, Amy. I'll set up a Zoom meeting in a minute.
Well, we should. We're right up the road anyway. I'm near Lisa.
Yes.
In the state of South Carolina, so right down 85.
Thank you, everyone, for joining, and we will see you again next month with our next Tiger Eye Talk.